Hey guys, Alex here, and today we're going to be looking at Tempo Labs AI. I was on Product Hunt and this was trending, so I thought I'd give it a go. I'd previously used V0, which is Vercel's visual builder for AI generated coding flow, and I thought this looks like a pretty good competitor. And at this pricing, it's pretty affordable, so I gave it a go. Now, one thing I noticed straight away is that the interface for this was way better than V0 and on par with Bolt.new's interface. It has much better features, and what I was really impressed by is after creating this prompt for an MVP model of a health based tracking system to build healthy habits, the way it actually went to generate the initial code base was quite impressive. It enhanced the prompt, gave it a bit more of an understanding, and then created this user flow diagram where it actually tried to predict what a user flow in this prompt would be, thus allowing for better UI generation and better tooling and page generation. So I thought this was quite impressive that it took such a generic and simple prompt and really expanded on it in this way, creating that user flow diagram as well. Now we let the initial prompt just run and do its own thing. It only took a few tens of thousands of tokens to generate this, but look at this user diagram flow. It really went into a lot of detail on how we wanted our user to use this app. So after some time, it started building the wireframes and they started appearing, but there was a few errors and I did see good code base and there was definitely some functional code, but for some reason it wasn't displaying. So I believe this was probably just a Vite issue. And again, right now, Tempo Labs AI is in beta, so this was expected. But instead of giving up here, I thought I'd give Tempo Labs a chance to redeem itself. So I gave it the chance to edit it and fix its own code. So we copy and pasted the error from the terminal after trying to restart the server. And I didn't even write fix. I just kind of copy pasted it, put it straight in, press enter, and I gave it some time to see if it could fix its own issues and then deploy again. So this is always a good test of any kind of AI coding tool. So if it could do this well, then I was pretty confident that we could keep developing on this and build out the MVP. And lo and behold, we had a functioning app that was visible. And you can see all the parts in the wireframe and they're all separated, which is actually pretty good. One of the cool things about this is that you can select each individual piece and start doing AI generations just on specific pieces or elements of the app. That's really kind of cool and something that's not available in any other AI code generator at the moment. So now we're going to ask it to make sure that it does some proper sizing issues because it had some issues with the overlapping of different cards and different elements. Now, after a bit of time, it was able to work out which elements were overlapping and had a fixed width versus what should be a responsive width. And here we have a MVP model. I'm so very impressed by this. I thought this was quite great. Now, what's even cool about this is it has just a generic integration with GitHub, which meant that if you wanted to, you could start building an app from this. You build your UI MVP model here, and you can further flesh it out later on in Visual Studio Code, which is so good. Having this unified code base with GitHub, so we connected it up to our GitHub, committed it, and now we have a nice code repository connected to both this and any other tool you wanted to use. I found that quite amazing. What else was pretty good is that when you looked at actually how a designer would probably use this or how a developer would use this is probably a quick way to mock up designs and start getting them out to teams before actually fleshing out a real project. So for planning potential, this is quite great. Now, what I also noticed is that you can connect directly to Superbase. So throughout that MVP model and that UI generation, you can actually build full apps with complete code bases here and complete databases to connect to them. So I thought I'd give it a test. I connected it to my Superbase account and I gave a prompt to the prompt section in the PRD tab and I asked it to build an interface where you could sign in and log in, sign up to the account, and even build a subscriptions page where you can actually pay for pro features. And it was able to generate me those pages. It gave me some of the instructions to actually lay out the tools that were required, and even the SQL editor code that was required to put into Superbase to make sure that we could actually get these tables that weren't already existing. Now, when you connect Superbase to Tempo Labs, it actually generates a user schema for you. So that wasn't needed, but this was just a subscription schema. So we'll go into our Superbase project and now just put in that code that was given to us and it was successful. we were able to create a new subscriptions table that would then connect to the users table. This is amazing. Now all that was left was to make a homepage that would then replace the current dashboard homepage, which would then allow us to log in or sign up. And as this is generating, I do have to say it is pretty cool that you can build full authentication systems in an MVP model in a code generator with very little code. It is actually quite amazing. Now, after generating a homepage, we can see that it's pretty much done at this point. So I open it up in its own external viewer, and I log in. Tried to create an account, was able to create that account with email confirmation, and I was able to interact with my UI, and it looks quite good. It's actually exactly what I asked for. Now, there is a lot of problems right now because it is still in beta. This screen kept flashing the whole time as it was trying to generate the live preview. It is not a finished product yet, but I can see the potential, and it's really, really cool that it made this fully functional MVP model within the 500,000 daily tokens. I think in the end, it used about 350,000 of the 500,000 daily tokens to create this. So with just the free plan, I was able to generate a pretty good MVP UI model, which is really cool.